we have a very special guest. We've been crossing our fingers. We didn't want okay, he'll be late. Not today. He'll come kesho. But he's here, and we are delighted to have him in the studio. His Excellency David Konkar, the British High Commissioner to Tanzania. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the show.
Well, delighted to be here. Bari Zasabuhi.
Salama
kabisa.
Nimefurahi sana kuja hapa leo.
Asante sana.
Kuzungumza kuhusu mada mbalimbali.
Mada mbalimbali. I see you've prepared yourself very well.
But don't get too carried away with my Kiswahili. It's very shagala bagala.
I like that, shagala bagala. And you have been here for 2 years.
2 and a bit years, yes.
Okay.
And you have learned all that shagala bagala.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
Very interesting.
Wow, nice.
Let's start with the pronunciation of your second name, because we usually do bets here. Who pronounces it closest?
Okay.
And I've gone with Konkar. Dora went with?
Konkar.
Okay. And Babu Yubu?
Conquer.
Okay. And Jerry?
Conquer. Is it right?
I think, can I do them in reverse order? Well,
Yes.
I think, Jerry, you were the worst, if you
Really?
better luck next time.
Okay.
But I think Jimmy and Dora, you pretty much got it. You nailed it.
Thank you.
Okay, so it is settled. 100,000 Tanzania shillings.
You're gonna pay us.
To myself.
Yeah,
Jerry. Yeah, cough it up after the show.
Don't worry.
Okay, let's start with talking about Tanzania and of course the UK. Last year, the UK government, of course, committed to supporting education in Tanzania, which we all aware is crucial.
Yes.
With major education programs, Shule Bora, as we say in Kiswahili. Could you just share with us the reach and expected impacts of this program and how it's going to all pan out?
Yeah, well, thank you for raising it, because education is a big thing for the UK. It's part of our national sort of brand. You know, we have many great universities. We have lots and lots of international students, foreign students, including from Tanzania, studying the UK at any given moment. So education is something we think we can offer and bring to the table, generally. And we have for some years been working with the Tanzanian government, side by side with the Education Ministry and other groups, to see what we can offer to Tanzania as Tanzania develops its education system further. And Shule Bora is the latest, if you like, program that we're doing. It's going to be up to 85 or so million pounds over 6 years. But it's very much working alongside other development partners and the government. So it's not a kind of, we're going it alone here. We're doing this in partnership. The key thing is partnership, because to make an impact on education in a big country like Tanzania, you have to work in partnership.
Right.
So, but one of the things it focuses on is enabling the government authorities to get more, if you like, marginalized children into schools and keep them in schools. So children who might otherwise find it difficult to be at school, disabled children, children from the poorest communities, girls in particular from the poorest communities, children with special needs of various kinds, helping the government authorities to enable more of those kids to get into primary school, stay in primary school, transition to junior school, and beyond.
On the same note, I have to say, I'm grateful. I'm a beneficiary of a scholarship to a long time ago. Scholarship, that's why I'm here, was a Camberwell College of Arts. And I'm still wondering if there are still opportunities for Tanzanians to study in the UK. Because, like I said, I'm a beneficiary of that, and I know this would come in greatly in improving us in different fields. So, are there any opportunities for Tanzanians to study in the UK at the moment?
There absolutely are, but I'm absolutely delighted, Jimmy, to hear you're an alumni, if you like, from a UK educational institution. You said it was a long time ago. You still look very young.
So thank you very much. They don't think so.
Really?
They call me Mzee all the time. Mzee all the time. Thank you, Your Excellency. Ooh, feel young.
This year he will be 50,
So,
by the way, so he's
yeah.
not that young.
Yeah, don't ruin the moment, Dora. Just let him have his
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
And let me have my flowers, okay?
Okay, Jimmy.
But great to see you using that experience in the UK so well, Jimmy, if you don't mind me saying so. And yes, we are continuing to offer scholarships and opportunities to young Tanzanians. Two examples of that. We have this thing called Achieving Scholarship Program, these are fully funded 1 year sort of master's type courses. We pay for everything, the tuition, there's a stipend to cover accommodation costs and so on. And that's been going for a number of years. Every year we like to do, it's very competitive, right? So what the situation is that the young people in Tanzania who are applying to get one of these scholarships, they're basically competing with lots of people here, but also with lots of people around the world. This is a global scholarship scheme. But we've made real progress in getting more Tanzanians through this process. We are now at the point where we have around 300 alumni of this scheme. Last year we sent around, I think it was around 20 also, Tanzanians for scholarships in the UK. So that's continued. It goes from strength to strength. We stay in touch with those scholars when they come back as well. They come around to my residence for lunch and so on. We try and keep basically develop a community of former achieving scholars, and they're incredible people. They are vibrant, they are entrepreneurial, they are Tanzania's future leaders in many cases, because they've competed for these scholarships with so many other people. So by the time they've got through this process, you can be sure that we are selecting absolutely incredible, amazing people for those scholarships. The other big scheme is the Commonwealth Scholarship Scheme, which is open to all Commonwealth countries, the 56 Commonwealth countries. Tanzania is one of them, so it's open to Tanzania. And again, every year we have young Tanzanians going through to study in the UK on Commonwealth scholarships. So with those two schemes, we will keep them going. We will do our best to promote them. I'm promoting them now on your program, so thank you for this opportunity.
Nice.
If there are any young Tanzanians out there who are interested in these schemes, Google them, get the information online, and see if it might be something you could go for.
I'm glad to hear you invited a few dynamic young Tanzanians to your house for lunch. Hopefully, this crew will be in your house for lunch someday.
Karibuni.
Asante.
We're looking forward to that. This subject, rather a sensitive subject, but we have to address it. It's climate change.
Yes.
It's a worldwide issue. It's a global issue. Do you think Tanzania is now in a good position to tackle the challenges and the risks of climate change? And have the effects of global warming gone too far? Is the damage irreversible?
Well, you're right. Yeah, I mean, it's an incredibly serious challenge for the world. I mean, this is our biggest single shared challenge and problem, right? All countries around the world face climate change. Here in Tanzania, I traveled around in my 2.5 years here. Everywhere I go in this country, I talk to the local communities or representatives in those communities, and I say, tell me what your experience is of a shifting climate in where you live in Tanzania. And I always get accounts of it's different, it's changed. 30 years ago, 20 years ago even, the weather was doing the following, now it's doing something else, it's less predictable, we can't necessarily grow what we used to grow in our shamba and so on in the usual way. This is pretty much all over the country, right? So, local people are telling us this is a problem for them, and they're seeing it, it's visible. So of course it's a huge challenge. And I think Tanzania also, the challenge is greater here than perhaps some other countries, particularly, a country like UK. We have challenges, but here you've got a rapidly growing population, a country that's still, developing needs to develop a lot. You need infrastructure, you need there's a lot of pressure on the environment here in addition to climate change. People needing more land to farm, the whole issue around use of firewood and charcoal, which is very common, and we know the government is trying now to slow that down and reverse that. But it's all of those pressures at once create, I think, a particular challenge for Tanzania, which is why countries like the UK, long-standing friends of Tanzania, we need to lean in and offer what we can. Which isn't the same as us saying we've got all the solutions, because we don't have all the solutions. And ultimately, Tanzanians are best placed to know what's right for this country, what the solution should look like. But, for example, the UK, we do have some expertise in the area of climate finance, how you can bring resources and investments and make those investments climate resilient, if you like, enable the country to adapt to changing climate. So we want to offer that. We're already offering that. We'll continue to want to offer more of that if we can, enabling Tanzania and the government to access the international resources that are available for dealing with this problem. So Tanzania must decide for itself what to do, of course, that's right. But it's also fair that Tanzania has access to international resources.
Right. Another sensitive subject that's doing the rounds around the world, of course, is the Ukraine and the Russian war. And the UK has been very vocal about that. Can we expect that to continue?
Yes, we can, Jimmy. And, not so long ago, just recently, we passed it was the 1 year anniversary since the Russian invasion, full-scale invasion of Ukraine. So this conflict, this invasion has been going on now for a year. It's a very, very serious issue, not just for Europe, but also the world. I mean, we've seen what this conflict, the disruption it's caused to the prices of food, and to fertilizer prices. Who before this conflict knew, for example, that Ukraine was so important as a producer of fertilizer and exporting it, including to parts of the world like Africa? We now know, right? Yeah. We've seen the impact that the conflict is having, including in Africa. So of course it's in everyone's interest for this conflict to stop and for peace to be restored. For negotiations and some kind of accord to be reached between Russia and Ukraine. However, the UK is very clear. There will not be a negotiation or the prospect of that kind of settlement unless and until Russia does the right thing. Vladimir Putin does the right thing, withdraws his military forces from the territory of Ukraine, and at that point agree, they can sit down and start to negotiate. But whilst the military forces are inside Ukraine, bombing cities, infrastructure, civilians, that's not the right moment to expect diplomacy and negotiation. Diplomacy can begin once the military occupation or attempted military occupation ends.
Yes.
And that's the moment where we can all see, what can be achieved through negotiation. But until that moment, we have to support Ukraine. After all, Ukraine is only doing what every country in the world has a right to do, which is defend itself in the face, of aggression. The people of Ukraine have made their feelings very clear, which is that they want to carry on being independent. They don't want to be occupied or governed by Russia. They've made that, they couldn't have been clearer about that. So that is why, there has to be, a recognition of that on the Russian side, and ultimately withdrawal of forces, and then, some diplomacy and negotiation.
Hopefully it ends well. Yeah. The UK now has a king, and coronation due in about 2 months, right?
Yes, the 6th of May.
6th of May.
Saturday, the 6th of May. Yeah.
Yeah. Calculations. Who's good at mathematics here? How many days? Okay, I'll leave that to you.
6th of May.
We are terrible when it comes to calculating stuff
no,
here.
it's 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
2 months. In 2 months.
Yeah.
That's why we trust you with our money, Dora. So explain this to me. Explain this to us. So before the coronation, can we still call him king? Is he king now?
Yes, he is king.
So what difference does it make after the coronation, or is it just a ceremony?
Well, the coronation event is a ceremony, but it's hugely sort of symbolic and important for the whole transition, if you like, from Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II to the reign of King Charles III. But he's already king. The day itself will be wonderful, and I encourage anyone who's listening to put it in their diaries and tune in on the television to see some of it. I mean, it's going to be a great pageant. There's going to be processions. The actual event itself will be in Westminster Abbey. You know, the King Charles will sit on it's basically a kind of almost medieval throne, the King Edward throne. The crown the St. Edward's crown, which dates back to 1661, will be placed on his head. He will be given the scepter, the golden orb, these powerful symbols of both religious authority and the power of the monarchy. So it'll be quite a spectacle, with the full pageant. The crown jewels, right? The ultimate bling, right?
The ultimate bling bling. I think we should have like 3 blings there. Bling bling bling.
Bling bling bling. Yeah. And there's going to be lots of other things happening. There's a music concert. There's going to be charitable organisations getting together to do big events. There's something that's happening on the Monday after the Saturday, which is going to be the UK is going to be lit up with a series of illuminations and displays of one kind or another. So it's going to be quite a weekend. Do check in on it. We will hold our own event to mark the occasion here in Dar es Salaam.
Okay.
We're just at the stages of planning that now.
Okay.
We will look forward to inviting you to that event.
All 4
of you.
Thank you very much. Really looking forward to that. You see, that has put a smile on Jerry's face. He's been quiet for some time. Jerry, don't worry. Just
Jerry loves parties.
Yeah. Jerry is an entertainer, so is Babu Ayubu.
And
so
I'll do the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
You'll do the show. You'll do what? A comedic?
Yeah,
what? Okay, he's a stand-up comedian as well. Impersonator.
So we'll maybe do an audition. You can do one of your routines for us. We'll check you out. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Babu Ayubu is always thinking business. Yeah. Always thinking business. Good one.
Yes. Okay, last year, the Queen's birthday party, which big event that we put on, it was the last birthday party for the Queen, Majesty the Queen. Yeah. We had Ben Pol.
Ben Pol.
Yes, I remember.
Yes.
Ben Pol and Abby Chams.
Yeah.
Ben Pol and Abby Chams. Abby Chams, she plays violin. Oh, she wasn't there.
I don't think she was there.
Okay.
But Ben Pol was there. He did a great set for us. Including because it was the Platinum Jubilee for Her Majesty the Queen, and the sort of official song for the Platinum Jubilee was Sweet Caroline, and Ben Pol did a fantastic version of that for us last year. So we're looking forward. So yes, we'll give you an audition. Yes.
Okay, that will be arranged. Okay, so let's talk Commonwealth now, with the understanding that of course Tanzania is a member country to the Commonwealth. Talk to us about the relation at the moment with the Commonwealth and Tanzania's importance as a member country in the Commonwealth.
Yeah, well, I mentioned, Jimmy, the Commonwealth scholarships, which are one thing that the Commonwealth does. Tanzania is a member of this family of nations, if you like. 56 of them now. Many of them, not all, but many of them had historical links going back to the UK from the colonial period and so on, and we would like to see the Commonwealth being more relevant to the lives, particularly of young people around the Commonwealth. Many Commonwealth countries have got very young populations. I mean, Tanzania is a good example of that. You've got a very young population, it's a rapidly growing population. We've got lots and lots of people, under the age of 25. And if we can find ways of making the Commonwealth relevant to the young people of Commonwealth countries, that would be a really welcome thing. The Commonwealth scholarships are one thing we do, but there's also activities. For example, there's a Commonwealth quite active on the climate change space in raising awareness of the issues around climate change, particularly with young people. King Charles is now the head of the Commonwealth. He took over that role. So we are at the early stages of his, leadership of the Commonwealth, and I know that he will want to see it become relevant to young people. He's done a lot of work himself as Prince of Wales. He did a huge amount of work related to young people around the world, so he will want to continue that. And also, he is passionate about protecting the environment for future generations, and he's passionate about needing to find solutions to climate change. In fact, the COP is the big international climate, conference. The 26th one of those was held in Glasgow, the UK, a couple of years ago, and King Charles, Prince Charles as he then was, attended that and spoke very eloquently about the issues of climate change. So I think we're at a really exciting moment with the Commonwealth. We will want to try to do everything we can and lean in from the UK with other Commonwealth members to make it relevant, and enable people to understand what it can do.
Okay. On the show, we usually have a correspondent from Zanzibar, and he asked me to pose this question to you. It's about the Commonwealth, and I promised I'll do that. Yeah.
Yes.
And I promised live on radio, so
Yes.
I've got to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So he was inquiring that as Tanzania being a member of the Commonwealth, and you've explained what that entails being a member of the Commonwealth. He was wondering. If Tanzania is a member of the Commonwealth, why do we must have a visa, or why can't we go to the UK without any visa requirements? Can that be worked out? There was a time that was availed to Tanzanians, but I don't know what happened in there. That's his question. He's asking: are there plans that Tanzanians would travel to the UK without visa requirements?
Well, that's a great question. Thank you. I mean, the issue around visas. I mean, it's 56 countries in the Commonwealth, so it's a big, it's billions of people, right? I mean, it includes India, a huge population, and so on. So it's a very, very significant chunk of the world. We have visas in place in order that we can make it safe and manageable to enable people to travel into the UK and leave the UK. That's, all countries, or most countries, have visa systems that are designed with that purpose. So, the answer to the question is that if we were to have visa-free access for the entire Commonwealth, that would not be, compatible with maintaining a safe, orderly, well-regulated system of people coming in, entering and leaving the UK. So visa-free for the Commonwealth is not something that's practical. However, we do. I mean, of course, we want to see as people from the Commonwealth visiting the UK, studying the UK, and we want to ensure that all people understand and know how to obtain a visa. So we've got good information on that. Again, I'm going to promote this. Anyone who thinks they need to travel to the UK anytime this year, go online, get the information about how to apply for the visa, and do it early, right? If you do it early and you fill in the online forms, just accurately, there's no problem. You will get your visa. The usual difficulties are when people leave it very late to apply for a visa, or they're a little bit careless, should we say, in filling the forms in. If you can be accurate on the paperwork and do it early, just do it early.
Okay.
This is my question now.
And I have one too for him.
I'm talking about the British Council in Tanzania. Would you care to explain to us how important the British Council is in Tanzania, and how Tanzanians could benefit in terms of information, or just finding information, or how to get a visa, the process and all of that? What is the importance of the British Council in Tanzania, and how can Tanzanians take advantage of the presence of the British Council here?
Well, the British Council, it's great that we've got the British Council here, and they have an office not far from the British High Commission offices, and their job is, and they do very well, is to promote cultural cooperation, with respect to the arts, but also education, and also with respect to English language teaching. So one of the things they do is, make available access to English language exams. Now, those are important. Coming back to this point about people studying the UK, often universities and colleges in the UK, they have English language requirements. So, you need to be able to demonstrate that you're at a certain level with your written and spoken English. So one of the great jobs the British Council does around the world is facilitating, enabling people to get access to the right examinations. But they also promote, do cooperation in relation to youth and climate change. Again, they administer actually the Commonwealth scholarships that I was talking about. So British Council, they do some really important things here, and we're very pleased that they continue to have a presence in Tanzania. And UK culture. We need to. It's a competitive, world, so we need to continue to tell the story of the UK and continue to make it relevant to people in Tanzania. The British Council is part of that.
Can we talk about food now?
We can talk about. I thought we were going to say football, but the two favourite topics of conversation in Tanzania: food and football.
Food and football. You've got a question about food, Dora?
No, I have a question about Shule Bora for disability kids, especially on autistics. Autistic kids, it's not everyone knows this. Is it a condition or a disease or something like that? Most of the Tanzanians, they used to treat it like a, kienyeji, witch doctors and stuff like that, because they didn't have that kind of knowledge, because it's kind of new here. So a majority of the kids grew up like, calling them a different name, like a Tyra, what Tyra in English?
I think it's I think what Dora is trying to put across is the awareness about autism.
Not only awareness about autism, but we don't have many teachers or many schools that they can be able to educate these kids.
Understood. Yes.
Yes. So in that Shule Bora, are you guys having plans to have at least to bring teachers or to have these kind of programs for autistic kids?
Well, that's a great question, Dora. I mean, I don't know the specific answer to that, but we can find out and let you know. But the principle, one of the key areas for Shule Bora is enabling marginalised kids who might otherwise not go to school, be excluded from school, and not find the right style of educational learning for that, right learning environment for them. Of course, kids with autism would be in that general category.
Okay.
As would kids with dyslexia is another problem that often you can have a very smart kid, but struggles to learn because they have undiagnosed dyslexia.
Yes.
And then they struggle at school and they eventually drop out. So enabling the schools and the educational authorities to be able to put in place systems that can cater for, diagnose these issues and offer the right learning environment. That is part of Shule Bora.
Okay.
Also, the issue of teachers and professional development of teachers.
Yes.
There is, as you all know, there's a challenge in Tanzania. You don't have enough teachers.
Yeah.
But across all ages, but it gets particularly difficult in the secondary schools with the lack of teachers for certain subjects, particularly maths, science, and I think also, English is a growing problem. So training teachers and enabling the authorities to recruit quality teachers and improve their professional skills is part of the program as well.
Okay.
So we can now talk about food now.
Yes, we can talk about food and football.
Okay, football always a topic. Favorite food in Tanzania?
Chipsy Mayai.
It's always chips Mayai. Mayai.
I wish I could say something a bit more, less predictable, but You know, it's a great comfort food, isn't it? If you're feeling a little bit tired or whatever, you know, have some chips in Mayai and you immediately start to feel a bit better. So,
Okay.
you know,
Do you eat your chips Mayai with a fork and knife or with your hands?
knife and fork.
Oh, okay, try
Yeah.
with your hands as well.
I'll try my hands. Does it taste better if you do it with your hands?
It's better.
Did you know?
I'm not sure.
In fact, we were invited to submit a recipe that was, if you like, representative of Tanzanian cultural cuisine
Yes.
to a big book that was produced in the UK to celebrate the Platinum Jubilee of the Queen, recipes from around the world. And, you know, we asked our staff, I said, what recipe should we put forward? And they all said, well, you know, chipsy Mayai. And I said, well, it can't be just chipsy Mayai. So we added chipsy Mayai plus a sort of grilled red snapper plus a salad, kachumbari salad.
Kachumbari, yes.
And you know, we said, well, this is actually a sort of Tanzanian, East Coast Africa equivalent of British fish and chips. It's chipsy Mayai plus you know, the snapper from the Indian Ocean plus a fresh salad. So it's probably a bit more healthier than the traditional fish and chips in the UK. But
I
anyway,
think so too.
It made it into the book. So it's
Any links?
representing
Any food
cuisine.
links here? Are you seeing any food links here? The UK and Tanzania.
Food links. Well, we like there's another common shared sort of preference, if you like, is curries. I mean, you know, there's quite a lot of good curries that you can get here. Curries are very popular in the UK. So, you know, sort of fish curry, coconut fish curry is another.
Yes.
You know, it's a coastal favourite. You know, in the UK, curry is practically, you know, on the list of national cuisines for the UK now. And that's the thing about the UK. We bring in and we adopt from around the world, right? Whether it's cuisine, but also to bring us to the topic of football. You know, the Premier League is about bringing in talent from around the world.
Yeah.
To create, you know, the world's best football league. And, you know, that's a British thing to do, right? We like to be open to the world, bring talent from around the world, bring ideas from the rest of the world, and put them on display and serve them back to the rest of the world and say, you know, here's a contribution from the UK. The Premier League, I think, is a great example of that.
Okay, hopefully one of these days I'll find chips Mayai on one of the London pubs menus.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Could work on that.
That would be nice. Okay, let's wind up with football now. Let's talk football, the English Premier League. Do you have a favourite team?
Well,
Or are you allowed to have a favourite team?
my local team, I live in Brighton, is Brighton Hove Albion. So one of the, you know, smaller clubs in the Premier League, but they're doing really well. Well-organised team, showing everyone that you can actually be quite successful in the Premier League, even if you don't have big money. So that's great. I like that. But of course, when I go, a lot of people here support the big clubs, right? You know, Arsenal, Manchester United,
Yes.
Liverpool, Chelsea, and so on. I don't know who you guys support.
Okay, let's start.
Man
Let's start.
United.
Manchester United.
Arsenal, yeah.
This is Arsenal.
Okay,
Manchester United.
Manchester United.
Manchester United.
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Bad luck, Jimmy.
I know that was coming. Yeah, we took the coach from your team, from
Yeah.
Brighton, and now he's doing a terrible job. He was doing an amazing job with your team, Brighton, and now he's just
Well, Graham Potter he's a really good coach, right? He'll come good.
okay. Hopefully,
I think the issue is, you know, he coached Brighton really well on a shoestring budget.
okay.
I think maybe one of his challenges is he's not used to handling all of this
The
money.
big names and big talents.
And the big egos, you know, these huge egos.
Yes.
But he's got a great reputation as a coach, so I hang on in there.
Okay. Keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive.
But did you know, I was counting the other day, there are something like 56 different nationalities playing in the UK in the Premier League, right?
Yeah.
56. It's almost like United Nations, right? I mean, you've got players from all over the world.
Yes.
Increasingly from, I'm pleased to say, from Africa. I would love to see more Tanzanian players there. Samatta played, is now moved out, but to Belgium. But it would be great to see some more representatives in this country playing in the Premier League.
Okay, I've noticed your tie. Is this a kitenge print?
Yes.
Is it?
It is, yeah.
It is.
So,
Is that
And it looks
kitenge?
so good. Yes.
Kanga or kitenge?
Kitenge. It's a kitenge, not kanga, Jimmy. That's a kitenge.
It's a kitenge.
Yes.
it's a traditional kitenge print.
Is this tailor-made just for you, or you got it in?
It's produced by, I mean, it's made in Tanzania.
Okay.
In fact, my suit's made in Tanzania.
Right.
Wow, nice.
Who's your designer?
So, and I like this. I like the design, first of all.
Yes.
Nice.
But also, it's a little reminder on a daily basis of a sector, an area, if you like, of the economy that Tanzania, I think, could be doing a lot more on, which is, textiles and the
Fabric,
garment industry. It used to have a bit more of that in the economy going back a couple of decades or more. So it would be great to see that come back and for Tanzania to really grow that sector. So I wear it as a little reminder of that. And actually, when I meet government ministers, they often comment on my tie. And I like to ask, okay, so where's your tie from?
Where's your tie?
Where was your tie made?
Yes.
And
Exactly.
often they're wearing a tie that's made in France or
Yes.
they're bought in Europe or wherever. And I'm proud to say I'm wearing a Tanzanian tie.
Yes.
And this is actually a sector that, with a bit of help and support from the government here and a bit of investment, could take off. You have good designers here, you have good sense of colour, great traditions on fabric, so why not? And you grow cotton. You can grow huge amounts of cotton.
Yes.
So it's all here, ready to take off. It's frustrating that it isn't taking off, but I think in the future, let's hope it will.
Can we give you another ambassador cap now? You'll be the ambassador for Tanzanian fabric around the world.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Add that to my CV.
It's done. It's done. We thank you very much for your time, for joining us here on Genie FM, the Big City Breakfast. Just to wind up, a 30-second winding up song, question? Nothing?
Nothing.
I'm
Alright.
done.
Yeah, you're done.
Yes. Unless he has a question for us.
Yes.
Do you have a question for us?
Well, first of all, I'd love to see you at the our big coronation events. So please put it.
Done.
And my question would, we'd be very grateful for your advice ahead of the event, as media professionals.
Okay.
Okay.
How we can best use the event to get key messages across and to raise the profile of the UK. So if it's okay with you, we'd like to come back and seek your professional advice on that ahead of the event.
You're more than welcome.
You're most welcome.
Thank you very much. We were talking to the British High Commissioner, David Konkar, who joined us here at the Big City Breakfast this morning. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Thank you. I wish I could do this. I need to learn how to do that.
I will teach you.
That's your teacher.
I will teach
No
you.
problem at all.
I will do the coronation event. You teach me.
Yeah. We'll have her do that.
Yes.
It'll be sounding really nice.
Yeah.
We've got to go now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much once again. And
Asanteni
karibu.
sana.
Thank you. Karib sana.
Karibu sana Tanzania. Tunakupenda sana.